Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Speaker, for donating those few minutes. Mr. Speaker, this motion intends to request the House to approve the dialogue committee. I want to support that motion, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, if you look at paragraph 6 of this motion, it talks about the mandate of this committee. Mr. Speaker, as we do all this, and I'm going to be very busy because of my time, as we approve the establishment of the dialogue committee and as establish the mandate, Mr. Speaker, I think one issue, Mr. Speaker, we need to agree as a country and as a house is, as Mr. Speaker, we should never justify violence, Mr. Speaker, as we discuss issues. It appears to me, Mr. Speaker, that what is happening in the country today is we want to use violence to justify conversation and dialogue. Mr. Speaker, 2007, this country almost collapsed and we used dialogue, and there was the Nusumkate government. In 2017, Mr. Speaker, the same situation, and we got the handshake. Again, Mr. Speaker, today, through violence, we have a conversation. My appeal to the committee, Mr. Speaker, is that we should put in place rules, laws, that is going to make it clear that after election, Mr. Speaker, and you lose an election, you should not perpetuate violence, so that again you justify to come back to discuss and share government that is intended to be done in this process, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I support.
Senator Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for affording me this opportunity. I also rise to support this motion. But of course, like those that have spoken before me have said, Mr. Speaker, we may want to urge this dialogue committee that will be formed that it should only discuss matters affecting Kenyans and not any particular individual, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, though dialogue is a good thing, but we may want to beseech all of us that you should have dialogue not only after elections, that dialogue should not be provoked through demonstrations and violence, Mr. Speaker, that we should be talking to one another as Kenyans even when we do not have elections and even when we have not come out of elections. And Mr. Speaker, we must call out the hypocrisy from the AZIMIO side that only one election out of 6 is problematic all the time. It cannot be, Mr. Speaker, that all the other 5 elections, apart from the presidential election, are okay, but the presidential election is never okay, and thus demonstrations have to happen and you are forced into a dialogue. So, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, let this dialogue committee not discuss anything else other than issues affecting Kenyans and not the leaders in AZIMIO or whichever side. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rest my case.
Senator Wamatenga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.